Hey, good evening guys. How's it going? Welcome back, of course, to the Time Bomb channel. And yeah, so as we can see up on screen, it's the 40th anniversary of G-Shock. That's since 1983. So I figured what we would do is crack a beer. This is a Hobgoblin Ruby, and just celebrate G-Shock's birthday. Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? To just sit here, have a live stream talking about G-Shocks and what's been happening to them since 1983. Let's just crack the beer sorted there, and we're good to go. As you can see, is a ruby. That is a fine colour and a good head. But that's not exactly why we're here. Yes, we are here. So we're here to talk about G-Shock's 40th anniversary. Yes, let that just sink in for a moment. The first ones came out over 40 years ago. Yeah, and that was, of course, the DW 5000C, and for many, the gateway drug. It started to go wrong for us it started to go wrong for many of us right back then in the 80s and the 90s, I think specifically for me. Still, much of the DNA of that DW 5000 obviously is evident in many of their releases to date. Personally, I've seen a lot of conflicting reports on exactly how many watches that they've sold since 1983, everything between 70 to 170 million. So if you can share an accurate reference to answer that question, please do drop us a comment down below, because I'd really like to know. Let's just grab a quick slurp. Here's to G-Shock. Happy 40th anniversary. So, big question for you guys. How many have you bought since 1983? I'm going to say my total over the years has to be around 40 to 60. I've given away a lot. I've sold lots. I've also been given others by people. And I think, you know, as you guys have seen here on the channel, evident the fact that many subscribers have lent in watches to us. It goes to show, you know, what a decent bunch of what a decent bunch of people watch nerds are. I can't tell exactly how many watches I've had, G-Shocks I've had since then, so I haven't kept a formal tally. So please do, guys, fess up, drop us a comment down below, let us know how many you've had. I can tell you which is the oldest one that I have at the moment, and that is this Men in Rusty Black Old Frogman. It's coming on for about 12, 14 years, I think. Still going strong, but yes, that resin, I think at some stage soon it's going to crumble, and that's because when I first got this one, I wore it absolutely every day for several years. It's only in the last couple of years that I've decided to try and treat it with a little bit more veneration and care. As many of us know, of course, the G in G-Shock relates to the shock that the watches, the shock to the watches in those gravity tests. Yeah, gravity shock. And as a brand name, you probably would have suggested back then it wasn't very sexy, but I think we can see it certainly worked. So I'm pretty sure that it was Morgan G-Shock who, over on his Instagram post, popped up this, you know, or flagged it up, and this is where I picked up on it from. Excuse me, that's the beer coming back. We've got, and that's the first one. Where was it? So, yeah. So on the Casio Japan website, as we can see here, they have basically released the data of the top 40, as in 40th anniversary, best-selling models in 2022. Now, I don't recall this information being released previously. I could easily have missed it, but I also find it kind of interesting to check out. As you can see, of course, it's in Japanese. Let me just focus in on screen a little bit more. Yeah, so as you can see there, the little bit of blurb up at the top is in Japanese. I'll pop up a translation. This is Google Translate directly. It basically suggests that it's from Casio online stores, not global sales. All of these models are the J models. And it's just basically talking about the fact that, you know, this is based on the number of units sold at the Casio online store. It's, again, a little bit of a random data because it's their online store. It doesn't take into account all their authorized dealers, etc. So I think, yeah, it's kind of to be taken with a pinch of salt, and I don't know how realistic that data then is for the Japanese market. For example, I've bought watches from the Japanese market. I've bought them online again. So yeah, take it with a pinch of salt. It's more basically just some of the results I find to be a little interesting. So let's just pop the screen up. Let's move the computer a fraction. All right, so we can see it a little bit better. One of the interesting things I found out is, of course, that many of the models that you will see on here, we've actually had on the channel for review, which is nice and reassuring in the sense that we're picking the right watches. And also, so many of you have left comments down below saying which ones you've bought over the last couple of years. And yeah, so here is our top 40. Now, in actual fact, if we scroll all the way down to the bottom, the first thing is you can see it's not actually a top 40 because it seems number 35 and number 36, number 35 and number 36 are repeated. So I'm guessing there must have been a four-way draw here or a double count. That was the first piece of information. The second piece of information that I thought quite revealing was, look how many negative displays there are in the top 42. I was really, really surprised. Even come right back up to the top two here. Yeah, both essentially. Yeah, I mean they're neg displays, aren't they? So as basically, oops, let's try that one again. Basically then what we're looking at is of the out of the 40, 28 models in total have inverted or negative displays. And I think that's really quite telling because, you know, most of us who actually prefer to see the time always opt for the the positive displays. I've had loads of comments from people over the last year to 2 years on these G-Shocks, which I've done reviews here on the channel with neg displays, and everybody said, I can't read them, got rid of them, etc., etc. The first positive display actually comes in at number 5, and that's also one of the, I think it's the first big heavy hitting price buster, that 97,000 yen coming in around 600 UK pounds. So yeah, as I was saying, clearly those who like the positive displays and like to be actually see the time, we're in the minority, guys. Just bear that in mind. Then what else was I going to say? Then yeah, so the other thing I couldn't see on here is there's no Gravity Masters. There's a couple of Mud Masters, some of the newer versions on here as well, and it's packed out with octagons and squares. The other thing that we'll notice is that, okay, here's our first real positive colorway. Primarily, everything's black resin here, then with a couple of silvers, as we can see here with the GMW B5000, just at number 17. Couple of reds, but none of the other, wacky colorways that they have, sort of like the greens and the other blues and all of the other and multicolored ones. There's the first red one there coming in at number 27. It just then, and here's our first Mudmaster, which is the newer version, obviously there, and then the older one of the GGB 1000 there, and another red here, silver. I mean, that's the most colourful one there, the MTG, and then a Goldilocks down here with the GMW, the B5000 GD down there at number 38. But again, some of these ones right down here at the bottom, I mean, these are the older models, and then obviously then they are with the new models, the 5600U and the 5610U. Again, so interesting data there. I can empathise a little bit with the choice of the blacks, the black resin. It's something that, yeah, I mean, I like a lot. And many of these new dual models that they've just released, again, as part of that celebration, they really don't do it for me. Do you guys like those ones? Let me know. But I am a sucker for this Baywatch yellow and red. Don't know why, but that one just says, yes, please buy me. I also thought, while we're talking about the octagons, where are they? Let's go right back up to the top. We'll find the first octos. So, yeah. So we can see that the first two then, the best ones sold, these are the new versions. So I say new in that they are the solar versions. And then position number 3, we've got the older version. Now I thought that the new solar octagons, their release had been so successful that I thought it might, push Casio to sort of maybe stop producing these ones, because I just thought the solar ones were so much more popular. But again, I was completely wrong, because they started releasing loads of new variations of that old version. So again, quite interesting to see. I get it that yes, this is just one country's shopping list. But clearly, Casio are going to be listening to their home market, and this list might indicate, I guess, the direction of travel for 2023. So yeah, get ready guys for lots more black resin, black metal, and negative displays. It seems to be the way that they want to take things. Anyway guys, as always, that's just my view. Let's raise another glass. Skull to our cousins over at G-Shock. I'll drop a link to this webpage that I've got it from, which is Casio Japan, in case you guys want to check it out. Let us know what your thoughts are. What do you think is the best selling models in your particular countries around the world? It'd be great to hear from you as always. Thanks as always for your time and for your view. And of course, until the next watch vid, this is your host, the Bombardier, signing off. Cheers, guys.